What the high steel's going on? Hey, what's up guys? Sean King with Mr. Fence Tools. This is probably one of the coolest tools we have. Really. We need to stop building fence like Granddad and start building fence like our kids will need to in the future. This is Mr. Fence Tools. No, it's not a rope. This guy is called the Equalizer, and that's what it does. It equalizes the spacing between posts no matter what the distance is. Any random length, it'll do all the math for you. This tool right here, this tool takes the dumb out of it, let me tell you. We've made some massive improvements to this tool. So now it comes with an offset cable. Why do you want an offset cable? Well, this is where your stake will go to set up your line, a fence. We're now challenging you to use this tool not just to locate your post space-wise, but also to set your post, right? So this is going to be what you would normally use a string line for. You're going to use this Equalizer. So once you set it up, don't take it back down. Well, you got to have the offset cable because your first hole in the ground, the first pole gets set at the end of this cable. Right there at the end of that cable, that's the center of your first hole. Right there, okay? So if that's the case, and I had this right here hooked to a stake, when you dig the hole, the stake's gonna fall in the hole, right? That's where the first post goes. So with this offset cable, that puts our stake almost 2 feet away. So that takes care of that problem. Set this Equalizer up so that it's on the left or the right hand side of all your posts so that you can set the post right to the indicators and dig holes right to the indicators. The center of the post goes right there where that tag is. So you would just you would dig your hole right to that tag, check your hole, make sure it's clean and ready to rock and roll, set your post in there and set it right to that tag all the way down. These tags will adjust depending on the length of the line of the fence to where they're all the same distance apart, right? That's pretty cool. Well, we've made the tool even better. Seriously, I mean, it was already pretty cool. But now, we've introduced the gate spacer cables. We've had people ask, well, what happens if I have a gate in the middle of my line? How do I handle that? And in the past, we'd have to go up to the gate and to the corner pole and use the Equalizer and start over. Not no more. Wherever we're going to put the gate at, after we've installed the Equalizer cable, set it up, we just take the gate cable, this one's 4 foot, we hook it inside the tag, hook it inside the other tag, and it will limit those tags from stretching to exactly 4 feet apart. Like they're not going to go any further than that. So those two tags are set at 4, and everything else on the line has been blended automatically. If you want to move it to a different section, grab two of the other tags in the line and install this. If you want to add 2 gates in a line, grab 2 tags in 2 different spots, hook them together, and you end up with 2 gate locations and the entire line blended together. If you want to have an 8-foot double drive gate, hook 2 of these together, skip a tag, hook it in, and you're good to go. We've got 5-foot cables, 3-foot cables, 6-foot cables. It's really simplistic. Man, does it take the dumb out of it. Come with me, let me show you how this thing works in the field. Check it out. All right guys, let's talk about how to use the Equalizer tool. First off, I'm gonna show you how to wind this thing up, because that's what I often see. It's the wrong way, right? So if you just go tag the tag, when you get ready to store it, it makes it a lot easier later on to use this thing, right? So I'm just gonna put it in my hand, tag the tag. This is how we wanna store it. This is how you wanna roll it up. We use it almost every time on a wood fence because we want equal sections. So if your line of fence is not equally divisible by 8 foot, then what happens is guys will lay out 8 foot, 8 foot, 8 foot, 8 foot, and then the last one will be, I don't know, 3 or 4 foot, right? That's how you see a lot of rookies do it. And then someone that's more seasoned will say, well, we'll blend the last 2 or 3 sections in. So it's 8 foot, 8 foot, 8 foot, 8 foot, and then like 6, 6, 6 or something. And so they're getting closer, right? Okay. Well, you can take it another step further if you've been building a fence long enough. You're like, no, I want them all to be equal because I want it to look symmetrical going through there. I got to cut the 2x4 anyways. I might as well just cut them all equal. It's the same amount of material. So then the person thinks they're really smart. They're going to take in the footage. They're going to measure it with a tape measure and find out, okay, so I got to go 81 feet and 5 inches. And then they're gonna get a calculator and they're gonna be pretty smart enough to figure out they're gonna take that times 12 to get inches. Then they're gonna divide it by the number of sections. If it's 81 feet, that's 11 sections, because 80 feet would be 10 sections. And then they're gonna get a measurement of like 92.685 inches. And then what they're gonna do is they're gonna take a tape measure and they're gonna get another partner and say, hey, help me mark this out. Will you hold that in for me? And they're gonna lay that on the ground. They're gonna measure 92 and whatever, 6'5" inches, they're gonna paint a paint mark, and they're gonna pick it up, and they're gonna do it again, and they're gonna do it again. And they're gonna get to the end, and hopefully when we get to the end, that 92.65 whatever is where the post fence is supposed to stop. And sometimes it works out that way, especially if you're really good with math. But there's a 2-person process and they're doing this. It takes minutes all the way down through. We're trying to save pennies. Pennies make babies. Babies grow to be dollars. You're gonna hear that all day long. Yes, I know we're saving pennies, right? So that's gonna happen. However, what happens more often than that is the tolerance of them holding that tape measure over and over and over and a 2-inch thick paint mark. Pretty soon they see either grow or shrink, and now they get to the end and it's like 87 inches, and I'm like, that's close enough. And they're right, it's pretty close, you're right. But you went through all that effort and time to do the math and do everything, and you still didn't get it right. Let me give you for instance, the homeowner, Mrs. Jones, says, I want the fence to start right here, and there's another gray flag down there, and I want to end right there. I don't know what that dimension is right now. I don't know what it is, all right? And I really don't care, right? At this moment, I don't care. But if I did want to do it by mathematically, I gotta get a tape measure out and measure that. But we're not gonna do that today. I'm gonna use my offset cable, which comes with the Equalizer. There's a reason for this. I'll show it to you later why we're using this offset cable. And I hooked it over my first stake, okay? That puts my Equalizer cable right where the flag is. And then I'm gonna walk on down the line and I'm gonna go to the next flag at the other end. Okay guys, so I've walked to the end of the fence line. Now, to make this cable work, I'm gonna pull it towards myself. I'm just gonna keep pulling. These tags represent where the posts are gonna go. I'm pulling, I'm pulling, I'm pulling. All right, I take the tag, like I can't get the next tag to come to me, there's no way. I'll rip the cable. So it is maxed out. And I put the black cable where the fence is gonna be located. Every one of those tags is right now is equally spaced perfectly within this 1/4 inch. I didn't measure nothing, no thinking. Okay, you should be able to do this in 30 seconds, right? Comparatively, the other way would take you 5 minutes or 3 minutes and 2 guys. So if I wanted to do that right now, it's a straight line. I would do 3 wraps, 3 times, pull this cable back over top of itself. I'm done, okay? If I go in mid-stake, the middle of this is going to become my string line. Okay, we're not using string lines to build fence. It's already here. We're not going to paint the ground. I don't need to paint it. I'm going to dig my hole right there. Dig my hole right there. Dig my next hole right there. I'm going to set my post right to the tag. No string line, no tape, no paint. 500 times faster and guaranteed to be 100% accurate. All right, so then I get people ask, cool, that's real cool, Sean, those are all equally spaced, but what if Mrs. Homeowner wants a gate in the middle of that? No problem. If we add a gate, that means we're adding a section or a post, right? If we add a gate, we're adding a post, right? Okay, so I come back here and I say, okay, we're gonna put a gate in that line. I gotta add a post into the line. How do I add a post? Well, I add a tag. So I back off to a tag like that. I added a tag in the line, right? Tie it off. A lot of people think you have to use the cable twice. Like pull the cable to the gate and then start again. That takes too much time. If I just add a section, now watch what I'll do. Come on down here. I gotta show you guys the other part of the tool. Where do we want to put the gate at? Right here, look good? All right, so it's a 4-foot wide gate she wants. Awesome. Hang on a second. 4-foot wide gate, boom, done. All those are equal, all those are equal. There's your gate. You want a 5-foot gate? We got a 5-foot cable. You want a 6-foot gate? 6-foot gate. You want an 8-foot gate? Double drive? No problem, we put that in there too. We have cables made up to come with it that are 3, 4, 5, and 6 foot long. You can put the gate anywhere it needs to be and know it's instantly equally spaced on either side. Now that is a cool tool. Any questions on that tool?
Maybe more.
So we're talking about wood fence today, right?
Okay.
So wood fence, we're gonna go down through here, and yeah, there'll be a rip picket where the gate is. There always is. With vinyl, if you were to use this tool for vinyl, it will absolutely work for vinyl. Yes, absolutely. But it means you're gonna cut every section. Probably the best way to go, right? It's not the norm in the industry. Normally what we'll do is we'll go full sections, put a remainder at both ends, or we'll do a remainder the last 3 or 4 sections. So you go with a steel marking cable we have. They're all exactly 8 foot on centers. You don't cut no pickets. Then use this tool for the last 30 or 40 feet of that line. It blends it in for you. So, right? So 2 trains of thought. You could use this tool to make it all equal, or in a longer line of fence, you could use this tool at the end to blend it. Right? Does it make sense? Let's show you guys how to do this. Gonna be a wire tying mistake. It's gonna locate our post holes, and it's our string line. We're not gonna use a string, right? So, but if you notice, it's low to the ground because of the weight of the cord is here, right? So we just come somewhere in the middle here. The cool part is, can I have that please? Is I know where my holes are gonna be. So I don't wanna put a stake where I'm gonna be digging, right? So if I come right here between these 2 tags, just about halfway, I can drive this stake in here between my tags. It's not gonna affect me augering my holes. Wire tie, this is key. This is one way of doing it. You go around it like this, back to itself. Now, because typically if you had a string line, you guys would wrap it around that, right? If I wrapped it around this, I would be changing. Now, is it that critical? Is it gonna make that big of a difference if I wrap this once? Probably not, but I guarantee you this dimension right here is less than that one. Hold me on that tag. That's 7 foot, go to the next tag. So that's 7'4". By me wrapping that, I caused this section to be smaller, okay? So to keep everything perfect, and now we're equally spaced. Cool? You're doing it this way, you probably should keep 3 of these on a truck. Because you lay out this line, and you lay out that line, and you lay out the next line, and longer lines, so 3 sides in the backyard. As soon as I do this, can I not have somebody augering? Let's say it took me 1 minute. Let's just say it was 1 minute. Can we not have someone augering right there, right now, while I'm doing the other line, and the other line? And then, by the time I get the other 2 sides laid out, that auger person will be past his stake. As soon as he gets past his stake, he can keep augering, but guess what? I can start setting. Because what's happening here doesn't change that. And what's happening over here while he's augering, because he can do this, push it out of the way, auger the hole, and I'm still setting back here, right? So we're not waiting on somebody. We're not saying, clear the line, get on my way. The team is continuing to work forward. Cool?